Totally Killer is now available on Prime Video. It stars Kiernan Shrimpka, I don't know. I give up. And I've seen, well, for some reason, everybody's reviewing this. Get off of, I review streaming movies. Get back into theaters. What are you doing on Amazon? Go away. That's how Jeremy Jazz reviewed this. He doesn't review streaming movies. What are you doing? Yeah, this is on Amazon, so it has audio description, and it is perfect for spooky season. It's also a comedy, but it's not a comedy in a way that it's spoofing anything. It's a comedy in a way that it's a horror movie that happens to also have comedy in it. It's a slasher movie with some humor, basically. But it's a slasher movie done well. I spent the whole film trying to guess who the killer was. I didn't look at any spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything for you here. You're going to get basically no information from me whatsoever, because I think watching this film that is not part of an established franchise, while trying to figure out who the killers, whatever, is probably going to be the most entertaining part of the film. I will say that it involves a girl played by Kiernan Shipka, who, for reasons, has to travel back in time to try to stop the murders of 3 girls from 35 years ago, linked to the Sweet 16 killer. It was a local killer that was never caught. The film has a decent supporting cast. Some people I've recognized who pop in and out, but this is mainly Kiernan's movie. And the film does a nice job of handling itself as a horror movie and being able to play the slasher part of it while also being able to play the humor parts of it. One of the things that I really loved about the film is that when she travels back in time, we have already sort of seen these characters as adults. They're the adults in her life, and she sees them as her age group, and some of them are really unlikable. I mean, just like really unlikable. And it's like her job is like to try to save the lives of some of the most vapid people on the face of the planet. And that makes it so much more hilarious, is when you have to save people who you know grow up to become people who have contributed somehow to society, but you're watching them and these versions of them, you're like, these people have no future. It's so weird to look at that and see, and to be like, wow, these people are just the worst. You know, I don't care who lives or dies, but you kind of have to, because you're like, her future can't be fucked up, right? We can't mess up the timeline. So she has to try to do the very specific things, but we can't put other people in danger who were still alive in the future. So even though they're terrible human beings right now, it does make for a fun film. It's very witty and quick paced and hilarious and all the things it's supposed to be. But also, I had a really fun time guessing, and I will say I was close to right. There was some twists and turns that threw me, and it was like, oh look, I'm about to be right, and then I was like, oh shit, I did not see that coming. Doesn't mean I was wrong. It just means that there's the film does find another way in the third act to sort of throw another wrench into everything. So, into my ability to guess. So, yeah, choices, and this film makes them, and I like that, and some stuff I didn't see coming, and I'm really happy that this is out there in the world. Some people are giving this way more originality points than necessarily they should. I feel like we've We've seen this. So, I've heard this compared to Happy Death Day. The day isn't repeated; she just time travels. Feels a little bit more like the Final Girls to me, except they did even repeat in that film. They had repeat things over and over. So, yeah, because she gets to eventually work alongside her parents, the teenage versions of her parents. So, that's part of the film. So that's why it reminds me of The Final Girls, which, by the way, is an excellent film and you should absolutely watch. So this is great. It's on Amazon. It's great for the season. It's funny. It knows its genre, it knows its audience, and I'm really happy with it. And I think you will be too. Audio description wise, yeah, it tracks the kills pretty good. It lets you know who's creeping on who. And also, does a decent job with the character description. This is kind of a huge cast, and they kind of have a lot of, they're in two different time periods, so I don't know that any one particular character was so established physically to me that I felt like I knew their style, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But it definitely does try to point out some of the cool 80s tropes, especially with things that were only worn in the 80s, like really 80s specific attire, I should say, and go from there. So, but most of it is just in the humor and the writing of the scene, and will anybody take her seriously, and is anybody listening to her, and how does she explain to people? There's a great scene where she thinks that she's landed like the perfect answer by getting some of the killer's DNA, and then she goes to the cops. She's trying to explain what DNA is, and apparently, like, we still have not evolved the kind of technology to have any sort of, to be able to use DNA evidence. So the cops just are like, what is that? What is a DNA database? What is and I was like, oh, you don't even think about things like that when you time travel. You're like, oh, let's just go back and get their DNA and put it in this thing. We'll figure out who the killer is. Oh, I can't do that. Never mind. So, yeah, so that was very funny. Definitely, I recommend this film. I'm going with an A-. So, I was pleasantly surprised at the choices and surprises that this film had in store for me. It's not scary, unless you just get scared really easily. So it's a good slasher that's also funny. So that's it. I will. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you subscribed. I have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can go to X, Instagram, or Threads and follow me at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the Audio Description Project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what's audio description, where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.